Time now for Phil's Gang Market Watch with Phil Grandy.
Good afternoon. I thought I'd take this opportunity. My name's Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. My national syndicated radio show can be heard every day from 3 o'clock to 5 on most stations. That the market continues to go up and people seem to be confused because the economy keeps going down. Well, to understand why the market's going to continue to go up until we get that surge of inflation, then the stock market's going to correct about 50%. Let's go back to the beginning. How did we get here? Why does this market, this bubble, exceed the other two bubbles? Well, here's how it begins. There's nothing wrong with lowering interest rates, bond rates. When you have a correction in the market like we had in 2008 and we had a bank meltdown, that's what I call it, they want to get the economy going. And the Federal Reserve will come in and rightfully so lower interest rates. And what interest rates? Well, they'll print money, and then what they do is they buy the 10-year bond. By buying the 10-year bond, their idea is that people will then get cheap fixed rate mortgages, 30-year fixed rate mortgages. People go out and buy homes. People go out and they'll add on to their home. Businesses will borrow money and add on to their businesses and hire more people. And folks will go out and buy snowmobiles and all those sorts of things. And that is called a stimulus. But it didn't happen. It did for a little bit, but then it stopped dead. And why? Because it's okay to drop the interest rates and to get the economy stimulating, but once you do that, you want to pull back and then let the economy take over. It's like priming a pump. You prime it, then stop. They didn't stop. Why? Because what they discovered when President Obama came in, his plan, his stimulus, was social engineering. His idea was to transform America to a socialized state. His idea was not to continue with the plan of lower rates for businesses, lower regulations for businesses, because that's what creates an economy. If you give businesses an incentive, they will invest, they will hire, but you got to give an incentive that you're not going to raise taxes. You're going to keep taxes low, and you're going to keep regulations low. He did the opposite. He decided he wanted to be a socialist. He decided that he was going to do the opposite. So of course, when you add on all kinds of regulations, and then you start taxing people, and you hide 28 different taxes in Obamacare, that cuts the incentive. So companies aren't going to go out and borrow money to go expand. Restaurants aren't going to expand. No one's going to expand. No one's going to hire people. And that's where the problem came in. Then to make things worse, he kept on with this policy of social engineering and redistribution of wealth. And that's why most of the recessions, you come out of the recession in about 2 years, 24 months, and you're doing pretty well. It's been 6 years and we're not doing well. And the reason is because he continues with the stupidity of his social engineering, of his redistribution of wealth, of his high regulations. Now he has the EPA go after the coal mines. He stopped the pipeline, as you know. He's doing everything that you wouldn't do if you really wanted to stop growth. Is he doing that on purpose? Of course he is. Of course. Because his objective is to take the economy and make the economy do worse. That way, more people get poorer. And that's what's happening. The middle class, there's been an increase of 50% of the middle class slipping to poverty. It's all by design, because the more people that go into poverty, the more people get on entitlements, the more voters they're going to have. And with the voters, he's going to be able to control, or the liberal Democrats, when he's gone, from here to the end of eternity, is going to be able to control the three branches of government. That's been his plan since he's been an organizer of neighborhoods, and he's been a pal of Bill Ayers. That's the plan. Because why would anybody for 5 years continue to do the same thing over and over and over and it doesn't work? How after 5 years he couldn't think and say, wait a minute, I have a negative GDP in the first quarter of 2014, my 5th year? Something's wrong. I better change the way I do things. But instead, what does he do? He gets in his plane, he goes around the country, he goes to heavily Democrat liberal areas where he feels comfortable, and he preaches to them that the Republicans are obstructionists and they're stopping him from doing the things he needs to create a middle class and create an economy, which is a bold-faced lie. He's doing everything to make sure there's no middle class. Because if you're going to transform to a socialist state, you want to wipe out the middle class, and that's what he's doing. So what's the FAR plan here? What's going on? What's going to happen? The market's going to continue to go up because they got this punch bowl, as they call it. I call it the cocaine bowl. Now that $29 trillion has been printed and given out to central banks around the world, they can't stop. They're like cocaine addicts. They can't stop. They're going to keep on printing money and keep that 10-year treasury, keep the bond rates low. So that, and every time, remember, when you keep bond rates low, the 10-year treasury low, by printing money and buying them, that's what gives you that surge with the stock market. They're not going to stop because they know if they raise rates, the party's over, the banks collapse, and we're going to have a 50% correction. So what do? Well, people are now saying, especially on CNBC, that we have this stock market, this wonderful stock market. No, we don't have a stock market. We have a market now for individual stocks. It's a stock picker's market. That's what it is. And while the cocaine bowl is there, and while we continue with 0% money, and while the stocks keep going up, we could go up for a long time. But how long? We don't know. That surge of inflation could hit and bring this market down 50%. So that's why I say to my gang members, change your time horizon where you're investing between 2 days and 2 weeks. And if you want to really be an investor, don't invest any longer than 2 months to 6 months. You got to change your time horizon in this kind of market because it's not a stock market. It's a market for individual stocks. We'll see you on the charts.
For more information on Phil's Gang, please go to philsgang.com or give him a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.